Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. We're starting off this week with news from Frater, who has so kindly shared with us updates on his 3 upcoming books, Holy Heretics, which is the third part of his Holy Daemon trilogy, which has been released through Scarlet Imprint. And yeah, people have really been looking forward to this Holy Heretics. I think there have been a few setbacks, but it's looking like, if I remember correctly, I think the pre-orders will start in July. So yeah, looking forward to that. Then we've got Ingenium, which seems to be a continuation from Holy Heretics. If I just scroll down a little bit past the section, fascinating section here on the way that Frater writes, this contacted writing where he invites selected spirits to come and essentially write through him. Very, very interesting little insight into his methodology there. We get the actual details about each of the 3 books that he's mentioned here, and we get contents pages for all 3 of the books. And of course, this lovely illustration by José Gabriel Alegría Sabogal, who's been illustrating the previous Black Abbot, White Magic. Sorry, yeah, we can see that the third part of this second book here is called The Rite of the Olympic Spirit, and that is going to be a workable rite for the reader. And this second book on his upcoming list is essentially, it seems to be advice for the practitioner who is undertaking this rite of the Holy Spirit. So that seems like a really nice book to have as well. And it's Joseph Uccello. It's unmistakable art style right there, and apparently he is given, Frater has given full creative control over the final form and body of the book to Joseph Uccello. Great taste, sir, very good taste. And it seems like only the best will work for Frater, Joseph Uccello, José Gabriel, of course, Alegría Sabogal. Yeah, could be worse. Could be much worse. Not sure it could be much better. That's very, very nice. And then finally, we've got this third book that he's announced, the Book of the Olympic Spirits, which is apparently going to be a standalone book, so a Paracelsian book on the Olympic spirits. And once again, we can see the table of contents right there. It looks really cool, really, really nice. I'll let you read all about that. It's a really exciting post. Everything about it is, exciting. Right, moving on to news from Theon Publishing. Theon Publishing, who have just released this image of their fine edition of the Benighted Path, and it looks so beautiful, so nice. David Beth from Theon Publishing has very kindly offered to send me a copy of this fine edition, so you'll be able to see it from a little bit closer up, so you get an idea of what Theon Publishing's fine editions are going to look like. So yeah, that's definitely a video to look forward to. I can't wait to receive it to actually show you guys. It's going to be very, very exciting. And then continuing, just a second picture, because why not? Then continuing with Theon Publishing tomorrow. So I'm recording this on Thursday, 26th of May, and releasing to members, of course, today. Tomorrow is actually Friday, so for most of you watching it, it's actually today, right? Today that pre-orders will be opened for the 2022 Crossley Tribute Edition of the infamous The Vodou Quantum Leap. So this will only this pre-order phase will only be open to people who are subscribed to the Theon Publishing's newsletter. So yeah, get onto Theon Publishing's website. I'll put links below, of course, as always, and yeah, get onto that mailing list. It's definitely worth being on it. And yeah, anyone who's interested in getting a standard cloth edition or the Auric Deluxe edition, those Auric Deluxe editions tend to go pretty fast. So yeah, definitely worth getting onto the mailing list for. Moving on to news from Troy Books, the Gnome Compendium. So this is the Gnome manuscript part 3. So I've talked about the Gnome manuscript parts 1 and 2 already, and yeah, finally part 3 is out, and you can pick that up in its, currently in its standard hardback edition and special edition. The paperback edition is not out yet, but those tend to come out a little bit later, right? So for now, the standard hardback edition and the special edition, and there's not very much difference in price. I'm always really surprised to see Troy's beautiful books being put out for essentially, just not the kind of prices that you'd expect such lovely books to be put out for. So that's really, really nice. Do they still have parts 1 and 2? I'm afraid I haven't looked very deep into it. I think they certainly have the paperback still available. They may have some standard hardbacks edition of at least one of those two books, but if you've got 1 and 2, then obviously you'll be looking at 3 right now. Moving on to news from Stranger Tractor, City of the Beast is out. The London of Aleister Crowley. So Phil Baker gives us a look into the city in which Crowley evolved for such a lot of his life. The topographical narrative as elegantly constructed as Harry Beck's schematic map of the London Underground, an astonishing subterranean journey awaits, taking us through the myriad calling points of Crowley's life and this wicked city's collective unconscious. It sounds like a really exciting book. There've been a couple of other books about the places that Crowley spent a lot of time at, and yeah, this one looks exciting as well. There we are. I think Obsolete Spells is quite a recent one as well. Poems and Prose from Victor Neuberg and the Vine Press. That might be another one that you'd like to look into, just by the by. News from Black Letter Press. Here are some pictures for Pantographia. So we know that is back from the printers, and it's going to be shipped very shortly. Very exciting stuff. Accurate copies. That's right. The accurate copies of all the known alphabets in the world. An English explanation of the peculiar force or power of each letter. That looks very exciting. Very, very nice. And another production picture right here from Atramantis Press this time. This is part 2 of Being and Non-Being, and it is the Chiasmata of Osman Spare, and yeah, so we can already get a look at what the cover's going to be looking like there, and looks very beautiful. There we are. This is a book that was recommended yesterday or 2 days ago by Jack Grayle. Jack Grayle, the author of the Hekateon, which of course is out of print at the moment. He's promised that there will be more editions. He said that there have been 3 editions in 3 years. It's going to be a little wait until the next edition, but there definitely will be a next edition. So he said, don't spend $300-400 on the Hekateon, like I did, by the way. And he pointed to this one instead, Liber Khthonia, by Jeff Cullen, and Yeah, it seems interesting. It's certainly less than $300 to $400, which is what the what the Hecateion goes for nowadays. But yeah, you might want to look into this one if Hecate is your jam, and yeah, getting Jack Grayle's seal of approval is quite a thing. Go and check out his live stream that he did on Facebook through the Blackthorn School just 2 days ago. It's just it was about 1 hour. It's an hour of pure bliss. And if you've listened to that, these are two things that I've listened to this week. That live stream, and also I listened to his Glitch Bottle interview, which he did with his colleague, whose name I'm afraid I forget. I'm so sorry. And it's about the Iliad, which I'm about to. Well, I've been recording, actually. I've been recording the first chapter of that. I'm going to be releasing that to members on Saturday, and to the general public the following Saturday. So it turns out that Jack Grayle has actually been doing something very similar for about 3/4 of a year already. The first chapter is already out. As in, it's already done. I've already recorded it. I'm just tweaking a few things before releasing it on Saturday. But it's unlikely that I'm going to do the whole thing, since Jack Grayle has already done it, and who am I compared to Jack Grayle to tackle the Iliad, right, or the esoteric aspects of the Iliad. So very happy to do the first chapter, and maybe a few more chapters possibly. But then I think what will happen is that I'll just go on to other works, and we'll do something like that. We'll do a reading, and then looking at the esoteric aspects of that reading, but not necessarily only focused on the Iliad. I think that maybe might make sense. And of course, I will be taking Jack Grayle's Hail Hecate course starting on the 30th of May. So just got a couple more days. If you haven't signed up already and you wish to sign up, go and check that out. He's very kindly invited me to check the course out, to give a review of that. So I'm really excited about that. I can't tell you what a fan I am. So yeah, that's super exciting. I'll leave links to all of that down below. Right, moving on to news. This is a book that was recommended to me by. I'm so sorry. Let me just bring this up, and I'll find the name immediately. It was Lind. Thank you so much, Lind, for bringing this one to my attention. So this is a member who reached out to me on the Foolish Fish Discord, and explained to me that there's this new book by Melissa Symes on the Coven of Atho. So this is a coven that is a little less well known, let's say, but nevertheless it was one of those covens from the very early days of Wicca, so this seems to be an investigation into the history of the Coven of Atho. So into the history, and of course the practices, right, of the coven. So yeah, just looking at some of the reviews here, it's available on Amazon, of course. However, the author gets a little bit more of the money if you buy it directly through Melissa's website, the Wicca, right here. The hardbacks, there were only 42 of them, are all sold out, but the soft covers, the paperbacks are all are available right here. If you're in the UK, I would probably go with that version, that option. People outside of the UK might find that going through through Amazon or through any other local retailer to you might be an option one way or another. Yeah, it just looks very exciting, very interesting, and apparently it's a work of great scholarship. Really, very, very well researched. Yeah, I'm all for that. Sounds really, really nice. Moving on to news about a couple of more books. Fearsome Fairies. This is one that I spotted. It's not out quite yet, but I say quite yet. It's out in October. But when I spot an exciting looking book on Amazon, I tend to show them to you. Fearsome Fairies: Haunting Tales of the Fae, and this is essentially put out by the British Library, so that sounds really exciting. Fearsome Fairies taps into the enormous fascination with fairies in the 19th and early 20th centuries and includes cornerstone authors of the weird genre such as Arthur Machen, M.R. James and Charlotte Riddell. So yeah, very, very nice looking hardcover book from what I can see there. Next we've got, and this is going to be the last of my Amazon books, I promise, there's a study of household spirits of Eastern Europe. Now, I'm regularly asked, what books can you recommend for Eastern European practice and tradition and so on and so forth, and there's so little in the English language, at least, that I can recommend. And to be honest with you, there's not that much in the local Slavic languages either. It's just very, very sparse. So when I find something like that, I kind of pounce on it. And this has been out for a couple of years already, and it's the first part of a 3-part series. The second part, I think, is Mermaids of Eastern Europe, and the third part is Dragons of Eastern Europe, right? But this particular one seemed of interest to me. There's a couple of examples of the kind of thing that you can find out about in this book. I saw some. If you have a look inside, let's have a quick. Yeah, no, you can't really see very much. But anyway, there are color illustrations, and it's laid out a little bit like a textbook from the 1990s, something like that. But anyway, it is colorful, and it's laid out in an approachable way, which is nice. And so The Spiritual Power of Masks is another book that caught my attention this week. Doorways to Realms Unseen by Nigel Pennick. And yeah, I'll let you read all about that. It seems to be an investigation, a study on the use of masks in ceremony and magical practice. Yeah, that's essentially what it seems to be, and it sounds great. It sounds like a very interesting topic. Not a fan of that cover, but the topic certainly sounds interesting. News from Anathema Publishing. Now, Anathema Publishing, as you may know, have been adding music to their compendium of offers, and so there's a lot of ritual music, a lot of dark ambient music, and I guess in an effort to bring this music to a wider audience, to introduce this music to a wider audience, they're doing this thing over just the next 3 days, or actually it's probably 2 days by the time you're watching this, between Friday May 27th and Sunday the 29th inclusive, for a total of 3 days. EST time zone, important, right? And essentially, this is my new word, isn't it? Essentially, sorry about that. You get a hardcover, you buy a hardcover book, or, if I remember correctly, 2 paperback books, and you get a CD for free. However, you have to you don't add the CD to your cart. You send an email. All of the details on how to do all of this is written here on Facebook, or actually no, this is Instagram. It's on Facebook as well. There are various rules basically. If you want one of the more expensive CDs there, or a vinyl, or like a double CD or something like that, you can send like a top up for anything over $17, I think it is. Then you have to just send whatever's left over. If you buy something if you want a CD that's less than $17, then obviously they're not going to give you the change or whatever. But I think it's a really nice option, a really nice opportunity to find out a little bit more about this genre, this type of music. So yeah, a really nice initiative. We'll see. Hopefully some people take advantage of that and enjoy what they receive. Couple of items from Etsy that I just noticed, and when I see something exciting on Etsy, I tend to share it with you. This wooden traveling altar. So this is a Tibetan Buddhist altar, and I'll just show you a couple of pictures. So it's a box, and this is the kind of side view, and this is the other side, and it opens up like this. So there are two drawers. There's one hollow drawer for placing these bowls in, for example, alongside anything else you might need. Maybe some incense, maybe some matches, maybe whatever else you might use in your practice. And there are these little alcoves in the top half of the box for placing the statuettes or the representations of the divinities that you are working with. I thought this is such a nice design. I was looking for a portable altar, or at least a design for a portable altar. And yeah, this is honestly the best design that I've seen so far. I think it's great. I think it's really beautiful. There actually seems to be a hollowed out part here as well. Maybe for incense sticks or something along those lines. Very, very cool. Oh, and even more storage space in the side. Great stuff. Really, really nice. And then this is a mala from one of our members, Mama Raven, who has this Etsy store called Domum Vulpes Corvum. I was very intrigued here by the description, and I'll let you read the description in your own time. Just this little thing here, warning: this is an heirloom spell. So Mama Raven makes these malas. She puts a lot of effort into these. First of all, choosing the beads very specifically for whatever spell she's putting into the mala, and then as she's threading the beads, she's performing various rituals, spells, so on and so forth, that are going into the mala, so I was very interested in the idea of an heirloom spell that learns as it's used. She warns that it's proactive about protection, and it makes decisions and alters your energy, the energies around you and the energies of others, to keep you protected at all times. It'll probably eventually talk to you, though it's not an entity, not a spirited vessel. It will act autonomously, and you may not always agree with its choices. The spell does take direction and requests, but be prepared for it to arrange your energy and life to suit its needs to protect you. So this is the particular one that she's got on her Etsy website right now, and it seems quite specific, quite particular, right? But she takes requests, and you can basically get in touch with her and ask her for a specific spell, a specific purpose for a mala, and she will create one for you with that purpose. And I think that's really, really nice. Every single one of these beads has been chosen quite methodically, right? It does spell out, well, a spell. Yeah. There are very how to say, intentionally picked series of beads with of different materials and so on. Yeah, it seems powerful. Yeah. There we are. And then finally, my game of the week is this Household. So it's an RPG, actually. It's a role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game. But it seemed so nice. You are a small person living in this world of tiny people. And I just thought the artwork was gorgeous, the premise was gorgeous. It made me think of Ariete, The Borrowers, you know. And yeah, just looks really, really nice. Some of you might be interested in looking into that a little bit more deeply. Yeah, it's quite a simple system. Yeah, it's not based on Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that. It is its own system. Lovely. There we are. That's my news for this week. I hope you found something at least to interest you. And I'll see you very soon. Oh yeah, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. That really, really helps the channel. And to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.